First, let's go ahead and define Christos-Magdalene. So we're going to be talking about this from the perspective of these two beings who are called Yeshua, Jesus, as well as Mary Magdalene. When they lived on this planet, they were two masters who activated and integrated the larger Christos-Sophia architecture within themselves. In essence, they activated the divine template within. And for those of you not familiar with the term Christos-Sophia, first of all, I'll say I could teach a whole class on it, and someday I probably will. However, for now, here's a very brief explanation of what I mean. So Christos is the energy that's coming from this universal divine principle of spirit that is aligned to Father God, and Yeshua fully merged with this energy. Or I could even say was born with it and then fully merged with it even more as he went on throughout his life. Whereas Sophia is the universal principle of life within all things that is aligned to Divine Mother, an energy that both Mother Mary as well as Mary Magdalene aligned with. So Yeshua and Mary Magdalene did this process, stepped through this process through multiple initiations internally, as well as together, individually, as well as externally. So internally, externally, individually, and together. And clearly, as we know, Yeshua was leading this process for many, many, many people. However, Mary Magdalene was his closest disciple. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the Nag Hammadi Gospels, these are Gospels that were found in Egypt back in the 1940s. And as one of those Gospels, the Gospel of Philip, it states Mary Magdalene was Yeshua's koinonos. And the word koinonos, it is another Greek term that defined means spiritual partner. It also means marital partner. So through this process, they reconciled and unified their polarities within and stepped into what's known as full Heros-Gamos union. So let's talk about what I mean by Heros-Gamos. Heros-Gamos is another Greek term that means sacred union. There are different ways that it can unfold. So there's the sacred union within. So we begin with our own internal union of our inner polarities. That is the light and the dark. That's a lot of what we're doing in Somatic Awakening, as well as this inner union within the core of the masculine, feminine energies inside of us. Also, Heros-Gamos, if we take it further, ultimately, it is the union of the human aspects of self and the divine aspects of self. Again, something that Somatic Awakening leads us to in its further phases as we evolve through the process, through that path. There's another Greek word that I want to talk about here which really, really articulates as well. It's called the anthropos. And this is another Greek term that means, it translates as someone who is both fully human as well as fully divine, right? We're not letting go of our humanity. We're not letting go of our foibles, yet we're also acknowledging the beautiful, powerful divinity that we are inside. So Heros-Gamos, also the third definition of it, it means sacred marriage with another human, right? So Yeshua and Mary Magdalene did all three. And in doing so, they activated the divine template within and stepped into who they truly are. And in this process, they fulfilled their mission agreed to from the divine, the great divine, the oneness of all that is, as well as the larger Christos Council, or what has been called the Christos Office or the Emerald Order, the many different names for it. In essence, it's this much bigger order of Christ consciousness within this galaxy and this universe. And now, Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, as well as Mother Mary, are ascended masters who are also master teachers and mentors to us to share with us the path of this more mystical Christos understanding, the Christos-Sophia consciousness. So for ourselves, we connect more and more to this Christos-Sophia consciousness when we align more to our true nature, or we could say when we align to the divinity inside of our soul. Also, we connect more and more to it when we live within a deep connection of our own higher self, when our ego is no longer leading. And again, we're going to talk about that a little bit more because the ego can be a little tricky when we're working with this. We also align to this energy when we connect more and more to the divinity living inside of us, when we live from our true divine nature in union with our own humanity inside. Again, not from our ego or lower mind, but through a living, a feeling, a sensing, and knowing this within us. It is here that we begin to shift into more awakened field of who we truly are and begin living into this consciousness of this unified field of all things, right? So this is what I'll call the beginning of the intermediate path. And we move more into this full path, the more advanced path of Christos-Sophia consciousness when we are living in a unified consciousness the majority of the time in our life, especially in unification with the divine. So it is here that we also live into this experience of unconditional divine love because we're living in this connection with the divine. And this love, how it is underlying and unifying all things, right? So if we were to drop it down into the true essence of what is Christ consciousness, what is Sophia consciousness, what is Christ-Sophia consciousness, if I were to define that in one word, it would be love, right? Because love is holding it all. It has the ability to heal it all. It holds every single nuance within us, even the parts that we have a hard time being with, the parts that we've rejected, right? Love welcomes and accepts and brings to wholeness all of it, right? So that's really what we're doing. And when we know and live in this unified consciousness and field, we also come into resonance and harmony with the ability to be full co-creators with the divine. So this is what was happening, I believe, when Yeshua was performing his miracles. He was in a unified consciousness with the divine. So just to be super clear, what I'm laying out here is a mystical path that is open to anyone, regardless of your spiritual tradition or your religious perspective. The only thing that is necessary is an internal desire and commitment to open to becoming a vessel of love, of truth, of goodness. And you don't have to do it perfectly. I know personally, you don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to be committed, right? And that commitment asks you to recommit again and again and again to this love, to living this love as best as you can.